This year, I am competing in the US Investing Championship, and what I want to do today is cover the trades that I put on so far. We're going to fill in our portfolio manager, which will live down in the YouTube comments forever. You will always be able to recognize what trades that I put on in the portfolio manager that we're going to fill in. And we're going to talk about these new trades, look for any new trades that are going to pop up right now. And with me is Joe, one of our Outlier University graduates, also a fund manager. Joe, welcome to the show. Glad you're here. This is the Outlier Trading Room US Investing Championship invitation only live stream. This is where we help you save time, make money, and start winning with less risk. So go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. So first thing that I want to do is take a look at our portfolio manager. This exact file will always live down in the comments down below. On every video this year, you will find this exact file. Now, inside of this file, you're going to see our position sizer, which is awesome. You're also going to see the trades that we put on, which is super awesome. And we are going to put in every trade that we put on in the US Investing Championship so far, which is 2 trades so far that we need to put in. We're going to track that there, and it's going to show everything. Joe, full transparency is on the docket today. How's that sound for you?
It sounds fantastic because I know it as a new Outlier customer when I came in. I was trying to follow you. I was trying to learn the language. I was trying to see, some of the terminology just doesn't make sense. And having the ability to relate it directly to the trade, to see how the trade was, to see what it means to roll and how it affects your fees and your profits. It's going to be wonderful to have this clarity out there. And there, like you said, there's no trust me bros anymore. It's all out there.
No, trust me, bros. A couple formatting things I noticed. I don't know why. So what I did was I just cleared out all the stuff that I had in there previously. Basically a template for you guys to work on this, as well as basically all the trades that I put on last year. I'm clearing this out. I don't know why the conditional formatting is not looking correct. Maybe it'll update after we put some data in. But we're starting with a $50,000 account. So this is the account that I'm trading. And it doesn't matter if you're trading a $5,000 account, $50,000 account, $500,000 account, $5 million account, $50 million account. The principles remain the same no matter what every single time. So at $50,000, we thought that that was a great level. It was a nice even number. And it is a level that a lot of people can achieve. Some people would say that that's nothing. Some people would say that's their entire life savings, right? The objective here is to find a whole number, a round number that you can identify with, right? So that's why we're doing it. And position sizing gets a lot easier once you're over 20,000. So this 50,000 real dollars is what we are competing with in the US Investing Championship. Risk management always remains the same. That's right, Shane. I'm meeting with Shane here in just a couple minutes. Put that down, Joe. We got things to do. All right. So first things first is we put on a trade on Friday, January 2nd. So going into orders, there we go, orders, and then filter for January 2nd, hit apply. So here you can see where I bought SGOV. Now I tried to buy SPXL. Actually, I take that back. I didn't try. Joe knows one of my little secrets, and that's to put resting orders in there. So I had SPXL at a penny and I had SGOV at a penny, but I modified SGOV to be actually market price at that point. But that's what I do, right? When I have other things to do, like I said, I was playing Xbox all day. So I went in, I calculated my stuff early on in the day, and I'm like, I'm either going to buy SGOV or I'm either going to buy SPXL. So I know exactly the right position size I need to get. And I just got to adjust the market price to get to that point.
And
So
it can
that's why
save
that
you.
one's, go ahead.
It saves you a lot of opportunities to make mistakes too. I mean, it could be as simple as typing in the wrong ticker and not realizing it until it's too late. And now you're forced into a bid-ask spread situation that you didn't sign up for. So setting up this trade early on a price that you know it's not going to execute on, I think is genius. And I've used it. I've kind of stole it from you actually.
I mean, it's super handy, right? Because I mean, imagine if you're, doing stuff all day long and you need to put on a trade. And all you have to do is change it to the market price at the end of the day. You don't have to go calculate position size. You don't have to calculate this or that later on, right? Let's say you're walking around Disney World and you're like, oh, it looks like if this trade sets up, I might be able to take this later on in the day. You just set it at a penny. You go about your day. And if you only trade at the end of the day, like I do, the last hour of the day, when you're standing in line for the ride anyway, pull up your phone, modify to the market price, boom, you're in. That's it. No thought necessary at that point because you've
Yeah.
already decided, you've already got a plan of what you're going to follow. Now, Joe, granted, that assumes that you have a plan to follow.
Yeah.
That's a big assumption. A lot of
Yeah.
people have no idea what they're doing.
Now,
Bruno Mars knows what he's doing. He is this generation's Elvis. He also
yeah.
put a hashtag outlier in the chat. But a lot of people have no idea what they're doing. So having a plan in place makes it super easy.
Now,
So
you're also calling out market price. Well, you're calling that out because you're talking about very liquid assets in
mhm.
SPXL and SGOV. You can also do the same thing with your options contracts. But when you go to change that price, you're not going to move it to the market price. You're going to move it to, whatever the prices that you want it to be. Like you'll probably go low, right? You're not going to put it right.
Yes. Now, when I say market price, forgive me, I understand that that can be a little bit confusing. I don't mean putting it in as a market order. You can do it as a market order. What I meant was, what is the current price right now? That's what I meant by market price. Mark to market. Mark to market. It's one of those finance bro terms, Joe. Maybe you hadn't heard of it before. Mark to market means you're going to mark the price to what the market price is today. There you go. If you
Mhm.
didn't know that, mark to market. All right. So that was our first trade of the year, January 2nd. And I bought 497 shares of SGOV at $100.41. So let's go fill that in real quick. So January 2nd, 26. Close date. Now I did close this already, and I closed it on the 5th. Little typo right there. 1/3/26. Ticker SGOV. Trading plan. Well, unfortunately, on that day, it was playing sit and cash and don't F up. It did not set up for me at the time that I was ready to trade, but is what it is. This is long because we went long the stock. How many shares did we buy? In this case, it was 497. So 497. Number of option legs. Oh, my bad. I got to type stock. No. There. Now that blacks out the spots that you don't need to worry about. Quantity 497.
I think you meant to type close date the 5th too, Chris.
Man, Joe, I'm drunk. I mean, not drunk. I mean, shut up, Joe. I'm just joking. I'm all over the place. All right. So looking at this, right? Outlier channel type at open. Okay. What does this mean? So if we go into the market breadth and we go to the second. So I like to keep a lot of data. You don't have to fill in all this data. That's just what I like. If I go to January 2nd, not there, not there, there. That was an outlier channel type of -2. Well, 0 really. 0 because we didn't get a score of 1 or 2. Now, it would be easier if it was like a market 2. You can just put M2. You can put M1, S1. Honestly, it doesn't matter. You can just put 0. It has no impact on anything else. It's just for record keeping. So we could just do 0. SPY heat map value. Now, you don't have to fill this out. I like to fill this out, but you don't have to. SPY heat map value on the second was 62.84. Now, if I were in a sector stock like NVIDIA or Google or whatever, then I would go put in the sector heat map value right there. But we don't have that because it should. Oh man, I deleted the formula. Hang on. This will calculate the relative greed score for you. Hang on. Paste. There we go. So we want to always have that at least 1. So we want to see a sector heat map score of like 65, not 60. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because you're trying to find a sector that's running hot, that there's a lot of stocks in it that are getting greedy.
Exactly. Now, stock entry price. So you can go into the orders and you can see we got the average price of $100.41. So 100.41. Amount paid, 100.41. Now, why is it on there twice? This is going to be two different things when it comes to options, right? Your stock entry price will be 141 and your option price may be $3.56. Okay, that's why it's on there twice. But if you're doing stock, it's the same thing. Amount received. That means when you close the trade, right? Amount paid. So I paid it. How much did I get as credit when I closed it? In this case, it was all of $100.42. So let's go over to that on the 5th. Buy, you can see right here, sell 497 at $100.42. All right. Huge gains were made. Now, I need to go in and drop a formula in here for the fees. We'll talk about fees in just a moment, but the profit was basically $5. Dude, first trade in the US Investing Championship, Joe. The first trade in the US Investing Championship. I can't even afford a $5 foot long. Can you believe that? This is a hot baloney garbage. What am I even doing in the US Investing Championship if this is my first trade? The crazy part is this is part of my plan.
That's right. It's better to earn a little bit of money instead of it sitting there doing absolutely nothing.
Exactly. So let's talk about fees just for a moment. So fees, we have a deal with Tradier. You can go to trade.tradier.com. Now I am actually using trade.tradier.com/outlier. That'll take you to this site right here. I am using Tradier in the US Investing Championship. I'm meeting with Tradier here in about an hour, and we're filming some stuff together. We have a really strong business partnership with Tradier. If you get Tradier, I don't care what you get, but if you get Tradier and you're an Outlier customer, you'll get 6 months of $0 commission trades plus $150 reimbursed by Tradier into your Tradier account when you open an account with at least $3,000, which is pretty cool, right? So we are using this Tradier Pro plan right here. So it doesn't matter how many contracts you trade throughout the month. It's a $10 flat fee. Hey, look at that guy. It's a $10 flat fee for the month. If you have any margin, it's a 9.5% margin. Let's see. But the reason I want to pull this one up here is even though basically we're going to count it as 0 on fees, there are regulatory fees, Joe. Did you know that there are regulatory fees?
Yeah, I did those. I did notice those. When I started tracking my trades in the portfolio manager, it became pretty evident to me that someone is always making money.
That's right. So it varies from thing to thing. Honestly, I'm not even going to stress about it until we are at the point where we're fully in cash, like cash. Then I'm going to reconcile the balances and I'm just going to throw it into the fees. I mean, it's just going to be one lump sum. We're going to put like 1264 or whatever, right? Then it'll be back and totally in balance. Does that make sense, Joe?
I've noticed with Schwab, they'll tell you what the feeds are for every single trade. So I've been putting them in manually as I perform the trades. So yeah, it just depends on where you want to end up.
There's probably a way to do that. I just have not figured that out inside the Tradier platform yet. I'm sure it's there somewhere. So we have put in trade number 1. Now let's put in trade number 2. Trade number 2 was when we got out of SGOV and into SPXL. Now I'm always going to remember this trade because that was Monday, January 5th. I had taken my dad to the VA hospital in Dallas. I had Grandpa Yule, Nana Yule, Colin, and Elliot, and myself. All 5 of us were there because the boys were out of school that day, and so all 5 of us were there. And I'm trying to. I got out of SGOV and I'm trying to get into SPXL, and it's only giving me 37,000 of the 50,000, and I'm like, what is happening? So I keep trying to make the trade for the full 50,000, and it's not going through. So I pick up the phone and I call Tradier, and I'm like, listen, what's going on here? And they're like, oh, the margin, this or that or the other. And I'm like, hold on. And this is why I say, I don't care who you trade with. I'm just telling you my experiences, okay? Every time I've ever had margin in the past, they would give you 4x margin, meaning you could turn around $50,000 4 times in a single day, and it would not be an issue. For some reason, my account had a different setting on it, and it was like 75%. So they rectified that, they fixed it, and I was back in business. I think they gave me 2x. I mean, I don't need it, Joe. It's not like I'm day trading all day, but I do need to be able to get out of A and get into B without any sort of waiting overnight for settlements. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and this will be something for our outliers to keep in mind too. If instead of doing like SGOV, you're putting it into some index fund or some mutual fund, some of those will not let you settle on the same day. So you would have to wait till the next day to actually perform any options trades.
And that's why having a margin account is in your best interest, because rather than having to wait, if you're in a cash, in fact, I asked this question. I'm like, am I in a cash account or a margin account? And he said, you're in a margin account. And I'm like, then give me margin.
Yeah.
Like that's the point here. So it was all good. It was just a setting they had to change. So it lit up. We're good. No stress. But that's why I say I'm always going to remember that, because I had one of those moments. And and I'm sure people have these kinds of moments all the time, right? Where it's like, huh, I just threw $50,000 around like it was nothing. You know,
Yeah.
it's one of those things. Like, I'm at the hospital, I'm doing this from my phone. You know, it's like, I don't know, it's just one of those surreal moments, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait till you're an outlier and you're doing this with 500,000, right? I mean, it's
Oh yeah.
possible, you know?
Oh yeah. No stress on that. And this is not the biggest trade I've ever taken, obviously, Joe. But I just thought it
Mhm.
was one of those fun moments. It was funny to me. Okay, so 1-5. So we got out of one and into the other. 1-5-26. We don't have a close date yet. What I like to do personally is I just like to put today, and then I like to mark it green. Now, why do I do that? That way I can keep track, right? I know that it's not closed, but I need to put it closed on here just for record keeping sake. So that's why I do that. Then just type SPXL because that's the trade that we're in. Now, which trade plan is this? This is a plan ETF. Now, if you want to fill in these plans, all you got to do is go over to your portfolio data and you just type these in, plan A, M, whatever, right? In fact, I can move this up. I can do, no, I won't move this up. I'll break things. Plan M, plan ETF, plan, yeah, let me just copy this one. We're going to say nothing. We're going to say nothing because these are my only plans that I'm trading. Okay. Go back over here, plan sit in cash and plan ETF. Okay. So we're good. So now when I do my drop downs, it's just those three. If we do implement any other plans, you just add them right there. And then it'll keep track of all that information for you. Your total profits, your average win, average loss, everything, little table right here. Now, I know this doesn't look beautiful so far, but dude, we've got 2 records so far. Give it time, the data will populate and it's going to look a lot easier. Okay. So did we go long or short? We got long, stock. So it blacked that out. Now we're going to the quantity 221. The OC type at open on Monday was what? 0 still. SPY heat map value on Monday. And again, you don't have to keep up with this. I like to, but you don't have to. 62.37. Same there. Stock entry price. So purchased SPXL at 226.22. And again, same thing here because it's not an option contract. Now, one thing I like to do as well, Joe, is until it's closed, I like to put my entry point. Now, do you have to do that? No, of course not. You can do anything you want. You could go in and you could put today's exact price in right now, which is 227.55, right? And that'll keep a running balance of how that's changing, right? So there's the blue line is our account. No. The blue line is the SPY. The outlier fund is the green line right there. Okay. So huge underperformance. I shouldn't even have competed in the US Investing Championship. How dare I do such a pitiful thing like this? No, that's just part of the game, right? We're 2 trades deep at this point.
I also like the pie chart there on the bottom right that tells you the, what would you say, contribution from each plan, and
Mhm.
I have been using this template, I guess, 6, 8 months or something because I have, golden ticket trading strategy plan in here, plan
Mhm.
M, all that, and, what was, exciting to see was how much the impact of plan M had on my portfolio. It was the vast majority of this pie was plan M.
Pretty cool, right? Isn't that
Yeah.
exciting? And
Yep.
that's how it's supposed to be, Joe, right? You have aggressive plans, you have defensive plans, right? And in the meantime, you don't commingle those. You just have a plan to trade with those.
Mhm.
Let's see. Is there anything else that we need to do here? Because all this is automatic. Again, I'm not 100% sure why the formatting's doing what it's doing. Let me copy these rows up here and see if it fixes it. It did. Okay, cool. The formatting is going to auto format based on, like, if, for example, if I did 0 here, it should 3 all red. Yeah, we don't want that to happen, obviously. Then it's going to show your running balance over here, your account impact per trade, total profits overall, total returns overall, any deposits or withdrawals you need to put in over here. Now, I will tell you one thing. If you add deposits or you take withdrawals, it's gonna break the return calculation. Now, I struggled with this a lot last year, and I got really, really, really frustrated with this, Joe. because at the end of the year, honestly, I have not done the calculation, but it's roughly 30% that I ended up at the end of the year. But I had to change the way that I was calculating because I had to change it from time weighted, which time weighted is a lot easier, to money weighted returns. Now, time weighted returns versus money weighted returns versus just standard returns, they're all a little bit different. When you
Mhm.
add deposits and take withdrawals, that changes your starting value. So let's say, for example, if you start at 50,000, you add 50,000, okay? Now it's going to show that you've had way bigger moves, ups and downs than you planned to, right? Then it would have been had you weighted it correctly. So
Mhm.
because of that, if you add deposits or withdrawals, it breaks things. It breaks things.
Mhm.
It truly does.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll come up with somebody who's super smart to figure that out for us later. But for now, don't add or subtract anything, and you should be good to go. And I'm not planning to do any adding or subtracting. I'm just going to run this all year long. So this should get us roughly, in fact, let's just double check 227.75. Let's put this here at 227.75. Okay. This should be roughly in line with where we are. I go to account view, account 50,337, 50,343. There you go. We're right in line. Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Now, like I say, there's going to be a time where this gets off a little bit, and we're just going to throw it in fees to reconcile it.
Yeah.
So,
And there's one column that we didn't fill out, but I mean, you typically wouldn't do this for SGOV, but we have the reason to close, and that's
yeah,
going to be an important one for you, for everyone to keep in their journals. You're always going to want to know why you closed each of your trades.
100%. And that is actually something I do in the Discord. Now, what's really cool about this is actually, Joe, can we link this in the Discord? Sure, we can.
Sure.
Um,
Sure.
I want it to be like easily accessible. Anyway, we'll put that in the Discord somewhere. But
Yeah.
one thing I like to do is actually put in why I close a trade, like outlier sell signal hit, plan ETF activated. Um, let's see. Can't roll out in time for a credit, right? I personally like to keep track of that because, you're going to have your reasons for getting in, and you also need to keep up with and track your reasons for getting out. So now we can take this a step further. And Joe, we started at 50,000. Now we're at 50,343. Guess what? Over here, your account balance is already showing 50,343. So as long as you're keeping up with the portfolio, this is going to keep up with and show you the position sizing. Cool as this, right?
That's
So
handy.
yeah, it is handy. Now, if you're managing multiple accounts, you can put those all right here as well, right? Let's say you got 3 other accounts. So you could, in theory, from one screen, manage 4 accounts. So let's look at this. So plan M, you've also got plan A. Now, I've retired plan A, but you can always still use it, and that's why it's still there. You can expand or contract those, whichever one you want to do. So let's say, for example, that we wanted to trade Palantir. We're just going to do an example. I have no interest in trading Palantir. Palantir is roughly 182.47 right now. The 10 EMA is at 180. The ATR value is 6.8 on Palantir. I just leave this at 80 delta, fill this into whatever you want. The share size would get me 37 shares on 50,000. That's not very many. Joe, I have a $50,000 account. Don't I need to buy $50,000 worth of a single stock?
No, you need to buy the position sizing that is aligned with the risk that you're willing to take.
That's right. That's right. Now, on that topic over here, this is where you get to enter that. So the account balance is automatic. You go in and enter whatever you want. I'm running 6%. Don't even think about it. 6%. Don't even think about it. Share size gets me 222 in that case. Option size is just 2 contracts. Joe, I have a $50,000 account. I am not trading 2 contracts. That's baby number of contracts.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, this is one of the things you learn as an early trader. You're coming into a program like this and you're surrounding yourself with folks who have gone on that same journey. And you understand the importance of putting risk first and learning about position sizing. And you're going to go from thinking, I need to just put on 1 contract or 2 contracts, to realizing that you need to put on the number of contracts that matches the risk that you have decided is palatable for your portfolio.
Exactly. And what's cool about this is if you were to trade 2 contracts and you got these contracts here, that is one I would be interested in trading, except for the bid and ask is really wide at 2130. That would be 8% of your portfolio. Now, is that 6% here? No, and that's kind of the point, is that you can actually take a much bigger position size because you're not planning to go to 0, right? This would be 8% of my portfolio, yet I'm only risking 6% of my portfolio. But if I bought 222 of them, that would take up 80% of my portfolio. Joe, you're telling me that this crazy cowboy is going to put 80% of his portfolio in one stock? Well, no, because you don't have to. That's what the options are for. Use the leverage that's provided to you. But you got to understand that leverage, there are a lot of nuances with that. And that's what we're going to be showing you guys throughout the entire year in the US Investing Championship. So, Joe, I'm excited, dude. And now everybody's had a chance to look at how to fill out the portfolio manager. Now, the question has been asked many, many times, how do you keep track of roles? I'll show you how to do it. It's honestly not that hard. It's honestly not that hard. Imagine that I'm in SPXL options. I'm not, but imagine that I am. And I had 221 of them. And I purchased the option strike at, I don't know, let's call it the 200. And I paid $3 for the option. Okay. 3.00. Now, or let's do 3.01 so it shows up. Now, let's say that the first roll that I did, I got 50 cents. Sweet. You can do equals 0.50, 50 cents, plus whatever the value of the option is right now. And maybe the option today is worth the one you just rolled to, right? You're moving from the 200 strike up to the 201 striker, for example. And now that one is not worth 301. Maybe it's worth 287. There you go. Now you've got your total, which is the roll plus the amount of what you the value of the option you rolled to. And let's say that you roll it again and you take in another 42 cents of credit, 0.42. Now you've rolled from the 60 to the 61 to the 62, and the 62 strike is now worth 310. There you go. That is how I keep up with rolls. That's how it becomes one trade. And I can see over here, oh, cool. My total return on capital was 33%. Now, are there some fees associated with this? Yes. And like I say, I don't stress too much about fees because the most brokers' fees is just nearly 0. And this would have given me an account impact of 44 basis points, right? So that is how I take care of rolls. Does that make sense, Joe?
It does, yeah. But my broker doesn't highlight the roll credits. And so I will put in the price I paid and the price they gave me, and that will tell me what the credit is. So just a little caveat there.
Yeah, that makes sense. David has a demand, not a question, but a demand. You better explain that base and max risk for me, my friend. All right. So base risk per trade is 1/4 of your max risk per trade. Guess, Joe, if you were to guess, do you think that that's probably 6% of 50,343?
It might be.
Yes, it is. Exactly. Now, base risk per trade is 1/4 of that. If you're running plan A, that's where your risk is going to be. That's where your risk is going to be. And max risk per trade is this in dollars. Okay. So if all hell goes wrong on this, I would lose $3,000. Does that suck? Yeah, it does. But I will live to fight another day. I'll live to fight another day. Huckleberry Steve, if you have multiple accounts, how do you note that when you enter the trade? In that case, honestly, I would duplicate the main portfolio tab. I would duplicate that tab, and then you can keep track of it, because let's be realistic here. If you're running the same plan in multiple accounts, the only thing you're changing is quantity. You might have a couple pennies difference here and there, but if you're running the same plan in multiple accounts, the only thing that should be changing is quantity. That makes sense?
Yeah. I actually have separate entire files, and so the report will tell me the performance of that particular account as well. So
yeah, there you go. So like in this first account, two options. In this account, it could be 5, could be 11, could be 22, right? And you of course fill this in or don't fill this in as needed. Okay, so Joe, we have covered the trades that we put on so far for the year. We have updated the portfolio manager so far for the year. Huge returns to be had, 69 basis points of returns. Let's go. But let's see. Are there any new trades to take? Well, the SPY is in a bullish trend. SPY is a buy signal, but the SPY and fear and greed heat map is under 70 and falling. Talked about that a couple minutes ago. It's actually at 62.32 today, and it's falling. And it's falling. All right. Dave asked the question, will this be posted in Discord already? A view-only version of this, because of full transparency of how we're going to perform in the US Investing Championship. A full transparency of this will always be available down in the comments below. I've set it up in YouTube so it will default to always have this in the comments, period, full stop. Additionally, you can make a copy and then use this as your own template in the Discord. Go over to FAQ and member contributions, go to multi-plan portfolio manager, and you can click this one right here. This will prompt you. Wait a minute. This link will allow you to follow along. This is a view only. This one here will force you to make a copy. When you make a copy, it's going to be identical to this. Okay. But the view only copy, the one that I'm actually using, is the one that will be available on every video forever, no matter what. Yeah, love how it's a live sheet. You can see me changing the tabs too. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. The objective here is to be as transparent as possible. Put all the other YouTubers to bed. They are full of baloney. We are professional fund managers, professional investors, and we are going to dominate the US Investing Championship. Does that mean that every trade is going to be millions and millions of dollars? No. I have no idea how much the account's going to be at the end of the year. And I'm not going to set any sort of expectation. Because Joe, imagine if I said, Joe, I'm going to win the US Investing Championship. And I don't even want to say that I'm going to win the US Investing Championship. I'm just going to do my best. I'm just going to follow the plan. I mean, that's it.
Follow the plan.
Follow the plan. It's like LeBron walking into a basketball game and saying, I'm going to win the game. Because, it's just LeBron. There's nobody else on the team. I'm going to win the game. And I'm going to score 712 points. Even LeBron can't do that. LeBron can't do that. Michael Jordan can't do that. Wayne Gretzky can't do that. I don't know a lot of sports people, so this is about as far as it goes.
Michael didn't do it without Scottie Pippen. He said so himself. So
exactly. You can't walk into a game and say, I'm going to win, and this will be my score. I'm not walking into the US Investing Championship saying I'm going to win and this will be my score. I'm going to do the best that I can, given the opportunities that are given to me, and whatever the outcome will be is what the outcome will be. But that's not how the internet works, Joe. That's not what gets the clicks. That's not what the YouTube, the Redditors say. No, I need like a troll button, right? I need a troll button down there. Oh, wait, Joe. Hang on. There's somebody knocking at the door, Joe. I wonder who it could be.
Who was it? Let's not forget, even the Monte Carlo simulator says that you will have concurrent losses, and when those hit you, it has an effect, right? If they're all in the beginning, you're going to get kind of distraught and it's not going to feel good. If they're hopefully towards the end, right, it won't be so bad. But the plan has losses built in. Every plan has to have losses built in.
Who dat? Can you hear me? Who dat? Can you hear me? Hang on.
Oh no.
Who dat? Can you hear me?
I think I hear gold chains.
You ain't real millionaire till you dress like this. It's Chris Chains. Chris Chains, don't you know? Chris Chains don't get out of bed unless you're making 300% a day. No, I'm saying that's how it's done. Right. Now, I'm in the US Investing Championship too. My grill gonna fall out. I'm in the US Investing Championship 300% a day. You ain't doing nothing unless you get 300% a day. Chris Chains, it's real.
I'll take 300% a day. Absolutely. Bring it. Yeah.
Hey, you get out of here, you crazy guy. How dare you come and interrupt our invitation-only live stream? Man, what a guy. Can you believe that guy came and wrecked us like that, Joe? Oh,
what a guy. Hey, before we close out, we were asked if you talk about this constituents and histogram. You can get that answer in Discord under FAQ and member contributions. Look for the Outlier users guide. That
Where'd
user's
that at?
guide will give you a visual review of how to use Outlier, what all the screens in Outlier are trying to tell you, definitions for everything that's on those screens. And so, great asset. And you will find out what the constituents and what is it, volatility histogram is telling you.
Exactly. Great job, Joe. Joe has done an incredible amount of work on how to use Outlier, how to be a successful trader. And listen, if you aren't part of Outlier, that's okay. We're still going to give you everything we possibly can for free with the sole purpose of making you successful. It's the truth. But
Mhm.
once you become an outlier, you'll be able to join these invitation only live streams with me and Joe and the occasional Chris Chains and maybe the occasional Batman as well. And we will be putting on trades in the US Investing Championship live. Right now, I don't have anything to do in those trades. I don't have to put on new trades. I don't have to take off my existing trades. We didn't really cover the ins and outs, but Joe, I got another meeting to get to. As a professional investor, a fancy guy like myself, I got things to do. Joe, it's been great hanging out with you. I'm so glad to have you back. Welcome back to the invitation only live stream for everybody who's here. And listen, if you're ready to save time, make money, and start winning with less risk, Joe, what do you think that they should do?
Subscribe to Outlier and then click on one of these videos to learn more.
That sounds great. Y'all have a fantastic day. We will be talking soon.